Spiritual awakening signs. If you have a burning desire, the chosen one has it already. The echo from tomorrow. Have you ever wondered why you cannot sleep? Have you ever wondered why, in the quietest moments of the night, when the world is asleep and the distractions of the day have faded, there is a voice in your chest that refuses to be silent? It is not a voice of words, it is a voice of feeling. It is an ache, a pulling, a hunger. It is a burning desire for a life you have never lived, for a person you have never met, for a freedom you have never tasted. Why does it hurt so much? Why does the image of a certain future haunt you like a ghost? Why does your heart break for a reality according to your eyes does not even exist? For most of your life, you have been told that this pain is a symptom of something wrong with you. The world has told you, be realistic, stop dreaming, be content with what you have. Even the old spiritual teachers have told you, desire is the root of all suffering. To find peace, you must kill the desire. You must empty yourself of wanting. They told you that your hunger is a sign of greed. They told you that your longing is a sign of lack. And so, as the chosen one, you have tried to suppress the fire. You have tried to meditate it away. You have tried to numb it with distractions. You have tried to convince yourself that you are happy with a life that feels like a shoe that is 2 sizes too small. But the fire does not die, does it? No matter how much water you pour on it, the ember remains, burning, waiting. Why? Why would the universe place such a violent longing in your heart only to torture you with its impossibility? Is the Creator a sadist? Is this a cruel joke? No. I am here to tell you that you have been lied to. You have been mistaught the definitions of desire and time. What if I told you that the pain you feel is not the pain of emptiness? What if I told you that the hunger is not because you are missing something, but because you are full of something you haven't realized yet? Imagine for a moment that time is not a straight line. Imagine that the future is not a place you are going to, but a place that is already here, vibrating at a frequency your eyes cannot yet see. What if that burning desire in your chest is not a wish? What if it is a memory echoing backward from a future that has already happened? A signal sent by a version of you that has already crossed the bridge. A homing beacon calling you to return to the place where you belong. You do not desire it because you lack it. You desire it because it is yours. You cannot crave what isn't coded into your soul. You cannot miss a home you have never inhabited. The very fact that you want it is the absolute scientific proof that it exists. In this transmission, we are going to dismantle the illusion of separation. We are going to explore the quantum mechanics of longing. We are going to discover why your specific desire is actually the GPS coordinates of your destiny. And we will learn how to stop chasing the future and simply remember it. Put down your defenses. Open your heart. We are about to step out of the waiting room and into the truth. Chapter 1: The Entanglement of Souls. To understand the mystery of your desire, we must first understand the mystery of time. In our three-dimensional world, we experience time as linear. Yesterday is gone. Today is here. Tomorrow is a mystery. We view our lives as a train traveling on a single track, leaving one station and heading toward another. But in the realm of quantum physics, this linear model dissolves. Physicists tell us that time is more like a river, or better yet, an ocean. In an ocean, everything is happening at once. The currents of the past, the waves of the present, and the tides of the future are all swirling together in one massive body of water. Now let us introduce a concept called quantum entanglement. Einstein famously called this spooky action at a distance. It is the phenomenon where two particles, once connected, remain connected forever, even if they are separated by billions of light years. If you vibrate one particle here, the other particle vibrates there, instantly. Space does not matter. Time does not matter. They are entangled. Now consider your soul. You are not just a physical body. You are a field of energy. And you are not just existing in the now. You are spread out across the landscape of eternity. There is the you of the past, the child who dreamed. There is the you of the present, the seeker who listens. And there is the you of the future. Let us speak of this future self. This is the version of you who has already walked the path. This is the chosen one who has already awakened, the one who has already healed the trauma, the one who is already living in that abundance you dream of, the one who is already holding the hand of the soulmate you ache for. Because you and that future self are the same energy, you are quantumly entangled. You are inextricably linked across the illusion of time. You share the same frequency signature. So, what happens when that future self experiences a profound joy? What happens when they wake up in that beautiful house, look out at the view, and feel a surge of gratitude? What happens when they feel the deep peace of financial freedom? That energy is so powerful, it does not stay contained in the future. It creates a shock wave. It ripples backward through the fabric of space-time. It travels through the invisible chords of the quantum field, and it hits you right here, right now. And what does that impact feel like in your physical body? It feels like desire. It feels like a sudden, intense longing. It feels like a pull in the solar plexus. It feels like homesickness for a place you have never been. Think about this deeply. It is a paradox that breaks the mind. You cannot desire what you do not know. You cannot crave the taste of a fruit that has never existed. You cannot miss a person you have never met unless you have met them in a different timeline. The desire is not a random chemical reaction in your brain. It is a data transfer. It is your future self sending you a download. They are saying, I am here. This reality is real. Follow this feeling. It is the breadcrumb trail that leads to me. If that reality were not meant for you, you would be blind to it. You would be indifferent.
Why do you not desire to be an astronaut on Mars, or a monk in the Himalayas, or a deep-sea diver? Why is your desire so specific? Why that house? Why that career? Why that kind of love? Because that is your frequency match. That is the only reality that is entangled with your specific soul signature. The very fact that you can imagine it, the very fact that it burns within you, is the proof of ownership. It is the universe showing you the destination before the journey is complete. It is the smell of rain before the storm. It is the echo of the bell before it is struck. So please, I beg of you, do not try to kill the desire. Do not let the cynical world shame you for your unrealistic dreams. Your dreams are not unrealistic. They are prophetic. That fire in your heart is the lighthouse. If you put out the light, how will the ship find the shore? The problem is not the desire itself. The problem is not the fire. The problem is how we react to it. We mistake the signal of connection for a signal of separation. And this brings us to the great trap, the trap that keeps 99% of humanity stuck in the doorway of their dreams. The trap of waiting.
Chapter 2: The Illusion of Waiting. Here is the great cosmic joke. Here is the mechanism that keeps the matrix running. The moment we say, "I want," we unknowingly declare, "I do not have." And the universe, in its infinite literalness, agrees with us. Let us look at the linguistics of creation. When you say, "I want to be wealthy," or "I am waiting for my soulmate," what is the vibration underneath those words? To want implies absence. You do not want the air you are breathing, you simply breathe it. You only want what is not there. To wait implies distance. It implies that the object of your desire is separated from you by time and space. So when you live in a state of wanting and waiting, you are vibrating at the frequency of distance. You are broadcasting a signal to the quantum field that says, "I am here in lack, and my happiness is over there in the future." And the quantum field, which is a non-judgmental mirror, simply reflects that signal back to you. It says, "Understood, you are waiting. Here is more time to wait. Here is more distance. Here is more lack." This creates what we call the delay field. It is a waiting room of your own creation, and most of you have been sitting in this waiting room for years. You sit there checking your watch, checking the 3D reality, looking for signs. Where is it? Why isn't it here yet? I've done the affirmations. I've done the visualizations. Why am I still waiting? Do you see the trap? Waiting is not a passive act. Waiting is an active vibration, and it is a vibration that pushes. Think of your desire as a butterfly. When you chase the butterfly, when you run after it with a net, desperate to catch it, what does it do? It flies away. The air pressure from your running pushes it further from your grasp. The more you chase, the faster it flees. Waiting is the energy of chasing. It is the energy of, "I need this to be okay." And need is the frequency of repulsion. You cannot attract what you need. You can only attract what you are. The chosen one understands that time is a persistent illusion. The future is not a place you are going to. The future is a frequency you are tuning into. Imagine a radio. All the songs are playing right now. The song of loneliness is playing on 88.5 FM.
The Song of Love is playing on 96.3 FM. They are occupying the same space at the same time. The radio waves are passing through your body right now. You do not have to wait for the love song to be written. The song is already singing. You do not have to create the love. You simply have to turn the dial. You have to shift your receiver, your consciousness, from the frequency of waiting to the frequency of having. But how? How do you trick a brain that is wired for survival? How do you convince your nervous system that you are safe and abundant when your bank account says 0? We must learn the art of quantum collapse. We must learn to bridge the gap between the burning desire and the cool reality. We must move from hoping to knowing. Think of the difference between hoping the sun will rise and knowing the sun will rise. When you hope, you are anxious, you pace the floor, you worry. When you know, you are at peace, you make tea, you relax, you prepare for the day. That peace, that strange peace, is the key. It is the peace of the Sabbath. It is the peace of it is done. When you stop waiting for the miracle, you become the miracle. And this leads us to the most important shift of your life. You must close the door to the waiting room. You must walk out of the line. You must stop asking the universe when and start telling the universe now. Before we proceed to the specific techniques of how to embody this state, I need you to make a choice. Most people listen to these transmissions, nod their heads, feel good for a moment, and then go back to waiting. They go back to checking the rearview mirror. But the chosen one acts. You must break the seal of silence to collapse the timeline. I want you to declare your shift right now. Do not just think it, physicalize it. Leave a mark in this digital ether. Tell the universe that you have stopped chasing. Tell your future self that you have received the message. If you are ready to accept that your desire is a memory, if you are ready to stop waiting and start being, write in the comments below. I stop waiting. I start remembering. By writing this, you are closing the door to the waiting room. You are anchoring this new frequency into the physical plane. Do it now. Now, let us enter the laboratory. Let us learn to fold time. Chapter 3: The Strange Peace. So, you have made the declaration. You have stopped waiting. You have begun to remember. But what happens next? How does the body feel when it finally shifts from the timeline of chasing to the timeline of having? There is a specific signature, a specific frequency that marks the arrival of the chosen one. Most people get this wrong. They think that when they finally align with their dream life, they will feel explosive excitement. They expect fireworks. They expect adrenaline. They expect to be jumping up and down with joy. But let us look at the physics of excitement. Excitement vibrates at a high frequency, yes, but it also vibrates with surprise. Excitement implies, I can't believe this is actually happening. It implies doubt. It implies that you didn't really think it was possible, and so you are shocked. The master, the architect of reality, does not vibrate at, I can't believe it. The master vibrates at, of course. Of course I am abundant. Of course I am loved. Of course I am vital. It was written in my code. It was inevitable. And so, the true sign of alignment is not excitement. It is the strange peace. It is a quietness that descends upon your soul, a sudden, inexplicable calm in the middle of the chaos. The urgency evaporates, the desperation dissolves. You look at your 3D reality, which may still look messy, which may still be empty, and instead of panic, you feel a shrug. You feel a deep settling sensation in your stomach, like a heavy stone resting at the bottom of a clear river. Why do you feel this peace? Because in the quantum realm, the transaction is complete. The order has been processed. Think of it like ordering a meal at a fine restaurant. When you give your order to the waiter and he writes it down and walks away, what do? Do you sit at the table shaking with anxiety? Do you run to the kitchen every 2 minutes to check if the chef is actually cooking? Do you scream, "Where is it?" No. You relax, you drink your water, you enjoy the conversation. You might even forget about the food for a moment. Why? Because you know it is coming. You trust the kitchen. You trust the process. The waiting in the restaurant is not painful. It is peaceful. It is filled with certainty. This state is what the ancient mystics called the Sabbath. It is not a day of the week. It is a state of consciousness. It is the state of rest that comes after the act of creation. God created, and then God rested, not because he was tired, but because it was finished. If you are still anxious, if you are still obsessively checking for signs, then you are not in the Sabbath. You are still reading the menu. You have not placed the order. But when you truly collapse time, when you truly merge with that future memory, the first thing you lose is the worry, and the second thing you lose is the need. This is the great paradox. To get the thing you want most, you must reach a place where you no longer need it to be happy, because you already are it. Close your eyes for a moment. Check your internal weather. Is there a storm of when will it come? Or is there the stillness of it is done? If there is a storm, do not fight it. Just return to the memory. Return to the peace of the restaurant table. The kitchen is working. Your reality is being prepared.
Chapter 4. The Collapse of Linear Time. We have spoken of the peace. Now let us speak of the mechanics. How do we technically collapse time? How do we trick this biological computer, the brain, into living in the future, while the body remains in the present? You must understand that your brain is a magnificent machine, but it has a glitch. Or perhaps it is not a glitch, it is a feature. Your brain cannot tell the difference between what is happening out there and what is happening in here. Neuroscience has proven this. If you place a person in an MRI scanner and ask them to look at a bright red apple, the visual cortex lights up. If you ask them to close their eyes and simply remember a bright red apple, the exact same areas of the brain light up. To the neurons firing in your skull, the imagined apple is just as real as the physical apple. This is the key to the quantum time collapse. Most people use visualization incorrectly. They visualize as if they are watching a movie screen. They see themselves in the movie achieving the goal. They think, I hope one day that will be me. This creates separation. This keeps the event in the future. The chosen one does not visualize. The chosen one remembers. What is the difference? When you visualize, you are creating something that doesn't exist yet.
When you remember, you are recalling something that has already happened. Memory carries weight. Memory carries sensory texture. Memory carries the feeling of done. So, here is the protocol. Do not sit there and try to manifest a house. Instead, sit there and remember what it feels like to walk through the hallway of that house. Remember the smell of the wood. Remember the cool touch of the doorknob. Remember the sound of your footsteps on the floor. But wait, how can you remember something you haven't experienced? You can, because of entanglement. Because your future self has experienced it. You are simply accessing their memory bank. This is what we call living in the end. It is not just a mental exercise, it is a neurochemical event. When you do this vividly, your brain begins to release the chemistry of that reality. It releases dopamine, it releases serotonin, it releases oxytocin. Your body is literally marinating in the chemicals of your future. Your cells are upgrading. Your DNA is vibrating at a new pitch. You are physically becoming the person who has the desire before the desire arrives. And this breaks the linear law of cause and effect. Newtonian physics says cause, event, leads to effect, feeling. I get the money, then I feel safe. Quantum physics says effect, feeling, leads to cause, event. I feel safe, and the universe must arrange the reality to match my safety. You are reversing the flow of the river. You are becoming the cause. But be warned, when you start doing this, when you start living in the future memory, the present reality will start to look very strange to you. It will look like a stage set. The things that used to upset you, the rude boss, the late bills, the noise, will start to feel like echoes of a bad dream. You will walk through your day feeling like a secret agent. You know something that nobody else knows. You know that this current reality is already dead. It is just the residual light of a star that burned out years ago. And the moment you successfully hold this duality, the moment you stop reacting to the dead star and start living in the new sun, the bridge appears, the collapse happens. But there is a final guardian at the gate. There is a final test you must pass before the palace solidifies. It is the test of destruction.
Chapter 5: The Paradox of Destruction. We must speak of the shadow, because no awakening is complete without the darkness. You have found the peace, you have collapsed the time, you are vibrating as the future self, and then chaos strikes. You lose your job, your partner leaves you, your car breaks down, your friends suddenly seem distant. The ego screams, "It's going wrong, I did the work, why is the universe punishing me?" And you are tempted to abandon the path. You are tempted to run back to the old frequency, begging for safety. Stop. Do not run. This chaos is not a sign of failure. It is the ultimate sign of success. Think of physics. You cannot put new wine into old wineskins. You cannot build a skyscraper on the foundation of a shack. If you have truly summoned a new reality, the old reality must crumble to make space for it. Structure follows vibration. You changed your vibration.
Therefore, the old structure, which was built on your old vibration of lack and fear, can no longer sustain itself. It must collapse. We call this the purge. We call this the great clearing. The job that fired you, it was vibrating too low for where you are going. It had to go. The partner who left, they could not breathe in the altitude of your new frequency. They had to go. The friends who fell away, they were anchors to a version of you that no longer exists. This is the paradox of detachment. To receive the new, you must be willing to let the old die. And you must let it die without grief. You must let it die with gratitude. This is where most people fail. They manifest the change, but when the change comes in the form of a storm, they panic. They try to glue the old life back together. And in doing so, they lower their frequency back to the shack. The chosen one stands in the middle of the fire and smiles, because the chosen one knows that the fire is not burning them. The fire is burning the cages that held them. It requires immense courage to stand in the void. It requires trust to look at an empty bank account and see space for abundance rather than poverty. It requires faith to look at loneliness and see space for the soulmate rather than abandonment. So, if you are in the middle of a storm right now, if you feel like your life is falling apart, I want you to reframe it. It is not falling apart. It is falling together. The pieces are rearranging. The stage crew is changing the set behind the curtain. Do not peek behind the curtain. Do not panic. Just hold your position. Hold the frequency. Keep remembering the future. Because the silence after the storm is the sound of your arrival. In the final part of this transmission, we will discuss the ultimate state, the state of I am, and we will give you the final key to walk through the fire without smelling of smoke.
Chapter 6: The Biology of Belief. We have spoken of the mind. We have spoken of the spirit. But we must not forget the heavy anchor that holds the ship in the harbor, the body. You see, the chosen one often makes a critical mistake. You think that desire and manifestation are purely mental games. You think if you visualize enough, if you think positive thoughts, the reality will change. But there is a problem. Your conscious mind, the part of you that wants the new life, is only 5% of who you are. The other 95% is your subconscious mind. And here is the secret that few understand. Your body is your subconscious mind. For years, perhaps decades, you have lived in a state of survival. You have lived in stress, in worry, in the feeling of not enough. Every time you felt that anxiety, your brain signaled your body to release specific chemicals, cortisol, adrenaline, the hormones of fear. Over time, your cells became addicted to these chemicals. Your body began to crave the feeling of struggle, just as a smoker craves nicotine. So when you suddenly decide to collapse time, when you decide to live in the strange peace of the future self, your mind says yes, but your body says no.
Your body looks around and says, "Where is my suffering? Where is my daily dose of panic? I need it to feel normal." And so the body begins to fight you. This is what we call the extinction burst. You might feel sudden, unexplained physical fatigue. You might feel a wave of irritation for no reason. You might get a headache or a stomachache right when you are doing your spiritual work. This is not because you are doing it wrong. This is because you are doing it right. Your body is going through withdrawal. It is detoxing from the chemistry of the past. It is trying to drag you back to the old timeline because the old timeline is chemically familiar. This is the crucible of the alchemist. To embody the future self, you must retrain your animal vessel. You must teach your body what the future feels like until the future becomes more familiar than the past. How do we do this? We use the technique of neuro-emotional rehearsal. You do not just think about the future, you must feel it into your cells. When you are in your meditation, or when you are simply walking down the street, I want you to summon the emotion of your fulfilled desire. Is it freedom? Is it security? Is it awe? Summon it, and then breathe it into your spine. Imagine that emotion is a golden liquid filling your lungs, entering your blood, rewriting the receptors on your cells. Stay in that feeling for just 2 minutes longer than is comfortable. Push past the resistance. Science calls this epigenetics. You are signaling new genes to rewrite your biological destiny. You are physically turning your body from a record player of the past into an antenna for the future. When you conquer the body, when the body finally surrenders to the new mind, that is when the magic happens. That is when the internal war ends. And when the war inside ends, the reality outside has no choice but to reflect the peace. And then you will start to see them. The glitches, the winks from the universe, the signs that the bridge is built.
Chapter 7: The Bridge of Synchronicities. As you win the battle with the body, and as you hold the frequency of the future memory, the texture of your reality will begin to change. The density of the 3D world will start to soften, and you will begin to experience synchronicities. These are not coincidences. In a quantum universe, there are no coincidences. There are only alignments. These are feedback loops from the quantum field, telling you you are close. The signal is strong. Keep going. Sign 1. The number codes. Angel numbers. You will start seeing repeating numbers. 1111, 222, 333. But for the chosen one who is collapsing time, the most important number is 777. Why 777? Because 7 is the number of the spirit merging with matter. When you see 777, it is the universe giving you a thumbs up. It means your internal state, desire, and your external reality, manifestation, are vibrating at the same pitch. The lock is opening. Sign 2. The phenomenon of déjà vu. You will walk into a room or have a conversation, and suddenly you will freeze.
A strange sensation will wash over you. I have been here before. I have done this before. Most people ignore this, but you must not. Déjà vu is a glitch in the timeline. It is the moment where your present self intersects with your future self. It is a confirmation that you are walking on the path of the memory. You are literally remembering the future as it happens. When this happens, stop, smile, say, I am on the timeline. Sign 3, the echo, the drift. This is the sign that tricks everyone. You are manifesting a specific car. Suddenly, your best friend buys that exact car. You are manifesting a romantic relationship. Suddenly, your sister gets engaged. The ego screams, "Why them? Why not me? The universe has forgotten me." No, this is an echo. It means the frequency of your desire is getting so close to you, it is hitting the people in your vicinity. It is raining abundance, and your neighbor got wet first because they were standing slightly to the left, but the cloud is directly over your head. Do not get jealous. Jealousy is a signal of lack. Jealousy says there is not enough. Instead, celebrate. Celebrate wildly. Touch the car. Congratulate the couple. By celebrating, you tell the universe, yes, I like this. This is my reality too. You claim the frequency. You pull it from them to you. Sign 4, the dream state. Your dreams will become vivid, lucid. You will dream of the house, the money, the love, and in the dream it will feel solid. You can touch the walls, you can smell the air. When you wake up, do not be disappointed. Understand that your subconscious mind is rehearsing the new reality. It is building the neural pathways while you sleep. The dream is the blueprint. The physical world is just the bricklayer catching up to the architect. These signs are the breadcrumbs. They are proof that the delay field is thinning. But just before the final manifestation, just before the breakthrough, the signs will stop. The numbers will vanish. The feelings will fade. And you will enter the most terrifying place of all, the void.
Chapter 8, The Final Test, The Void. You have done the work. You have cleared the body. You have seen the signs. You have lived in the end. And then, everything stops. The synchronicities disappear. The excitement fades. The burning desire that used to keep you awake cools down into a neutral temperature. You don't feel happy. You don't feel sad. You just feel empty. And the external world, it goes silent. Nothing is happening. No movement. No news, just silence. The ego panics. I lost it. I lost the connection. I stopped caring, so it went away. And you try to force the feeling back. You try to pump yourself up. Stop. Do not break the silence. This is not failure. This is the void. This is the eye of the storm. This is the split second of silence between the lightning and the thunder. In the process of creation, there is always a pause before the materialization. A seed, just before it breaks the soil, rests in the darkest, quietest pressure. A woman, just before she gives birth, enters a transition phase of total inward focus. The universe has placed you in the void for a reason. It is testing your resolve.
It is asking, do you believe in the outcome, even when you cannot see the signs? Do you trust your own power, or are you addicted to the external validation of angel numbers? This is the graduation exam for the chosen one. Can you stand in the nothingness and still know that you are everything? Can you look at the silence and hear the music? If you are in this void right now, if you feel strangely detached, if you feel like you don't even want it anymore, congratulations. You have reached the state of neutrality. Neutrality is the highest form of magnetic power. When you are neutral, you have zero resistance. You are a superconductor. You have released the need. You have released the waiting. You have simply become. You are no longer the person trying to get the thing. You are the space in which the thing must appear. So, in this silence, do not scramble. Do not scream. Just breathe. Wait. Trust the void. Because the void is not empty. It is pregnant. It is pregnant with your new life, and the labor is about to begin. In the final chapter, we will bridge the gap. We will show you how to walk out of the void and step into the golden age of your life. And we will give you the final command to seal this timeline forever. Chapter 9. The State of I Am. We have traversed the landscape of desire. We have navigated the treacherous waters of time. We have survived the fires of the Purge and stood in the silence of the void. Now we arrive at the destination, the final coordinate, the place where the burning desire ceases to burn because it has been transmuted into something far more powerful. It has been transmuted into identity. You see, the chosen one eventually realizes that manifestation is a misnomer. You do not attract what you want. You attract what you are. The universe does not respond to your pleading. It responds to your being. And there is no phrase in the human language, no code in the digital matrix more powerful than the two words, I am. In the ancient texts, when Moses asked God for his name, the voice from the burning bush did not say, I am the king, or I am the creator. It simply said, I am that I am. Why? Because I am is the definition of existence itself. It is the 0 point. It is the clay from which all reality is molded. Whatever you place after the words I am, you become. If you say, I am tired, the universe says, so be it. If you say, I am wanting, the universe says, so be it. If you say, I am waiting, the universe says, so be it. But when you stand in the center of the void, when you look at your desire not as something outside of you, but as a memory inside of you, and you declare, I am wealth, I am love, I am the solution, you are not just saying words, you are hacking the source code of the simulation. You are collapsing the wave function. Most people say these affirmations, but they do not feel them. They say, I am wealthy, while their stomach churns with the fear of poverty. That is not I am, that is I hope. The state of I am is a state of total possession. Think of your name. Do you have to try to be your name? Do you wake up in the morning and visualize being your name? Do you write affirmations saying, "I hope I am your name"? No, you simply are. It requires no effort. It requires no energy. It is a fact. This is the goal. This is where the burning desire leads you. The fire burns away all the false identities, all the "I am unworthy," "I am broken," "I am small," until only the truth remains. And the truth is, you are the thing you have been looking for. The money you wanted, it is just a symbol of your own freedom. You are the freedom. The partner you wanted, they are just a mirror of your own love. You are the love. The health you wanted, it is just the natural state of your energy. You are the energy. When you realize this, the chase ends. You stop running on the treadmill. You step off. You realize that the screen showing the future was just a projection on your own internal lens. And in this moment of realization, a profound shift occurs in your biology. The anxiety vanishes completely, because you cannot lose what you are. You can lose a car, you can lose a house, you can lose a job, but you cannot lose yourself. So, I invite you now. Step into the identity. Do not put it on like a coat. Wear it like skin. Do not act like the wealthy person. Be the vibration of wealth. Walk differently. Breathe differently. Speak differently. Not to impress others, but to signal to the quantum field that the vessel is ready. To tell the universe, the waiting is over. The vessel is full. Pour the reality into me. This is the secret of the masters. They do not do, they are. And because they are, the world bends to accommodate their existence.
The final activation. We are reaching the end of this transmission. But before we disconnect, we must seal this frequency into your timeline. We must perform the final activation. You have heard the truth. Your mind understands it. Now your soul must claim it. I want you to close your eyes. Pause. Take a deep breath. Inhale the future. Exhale the past. Imagine right now that you are standing on a bridge. Behind you is the life of waiting, the life of wanting, the life of the old you. It is gray, it is heavy, it is fading. Ahead of you is the life of I am. It is golden, it is vibrant, it is real. In that future life, the thing you desired is already old news. It is normal, it is done. See yourself there. Look at your hands in that future. What are you holding? Who is standing next to you? How does the air smell? Now, locate the feeling of that reality in your body. Is it a warmth in the chest? Is it a lightness in the shoulders? Is it a smile on the face? Find it, grab it, amplify it. Turn the volume up. Make it brighter, make it louder. Feel the gratitude washing over you, not because it's coming, but because it's here. Feel the strange peace settling into your bones. Now, say to yourself in the silence of your mind, "It is finished. It is finished. It is finished."
long pause. You have crossed the bridge. You have collapsed the time. You are no longer the person who pressed play on this video. You have upgraded your code. Open your eyes. Look around your room. It may look the same as it did an hour ago, but it is not the same, because you are not the same. The observer has changed. Therefore, the observation must change.
Walking in two worlds. Now comes the real work. The video will end, the music will fade, and you will have to step back into the real world. You will have to go to that job you might not like. You will have to interact with family members who are still asleep. You will have to look at the bills and the problems of the 3D reality. This is the challenge. This is why you are the chosen one. Anyone can feel holy in a meditation, but can you hold the frequency of I am when the world is screaming, you are not? You are now a walker of two worlds. Your feet are walking in the physical world of the present, but your heart is beating in the quantum world of the future. You are a spy, a secret agent of the universe. You walk among the sleepers, carrying a secret that they cannot see. You know that the reality around you is just a lagging reflection. It is old news. So do not react to it. Do not let the 3D world dictate your internal state. When you see the lack, smile, because you know the abundance is coming. When you feel the loneliness, smile, because you know the love is already entangled with you. When the matrix tries to trigger you, simply observe it. Say to yourself, this is just the echo. I am the voice. This is the art of detached observation, and it is the most powerful skill you will ever master. Do not try to convince others of your power. Do not try to explain your burning desire to people who have forgotten how to dream. Keep your magic secret. Keep your fire sacred. Let your results be your explanation. You have the tools. You have the map. And now you know that the destination was never ahead of you. It was inside you all along. The burning is over. The remembering has begun. But as you walk this path, as you begin to shine brighter, you will attract attention, not just from the light, but from the shadows. When a light bulb turns on in a dark room, it attracts the moths. When you reclaim your power, the matrix will try to test your sovereignty. How do you protect your energy when the world tries to drain it? How do you maintain the God state when you are surrounded by negativity? How do you become untouchable? In our next transmission, we will hand you the shield. We will teach you the ancient art of energetic sovereignty. We will show you how to be so full of your own light that nothing lower can touch you. Until then, walk tall, breathe deep, and remember who you are. If you have crossed the bridge, if you have claimed your identity, leave your final signature on this timeline. Write in the comments, I am the future I dreamed of. The transmission is complete. The reality is yours. Welcome home.